So I run many different companies. You're today in two of them. This is the Chaos Group and the DLA Group. The Chaos Group is a media agency and the DLA Group is an IT software licensing company. So I run both of those companies from these premises. I have a number of other companies that I run from elsewhere.
Okay, thank you. Something that makes the Chaos Group unique is that it covers client retention strategies. You're constantly dealing with different clients and different needs and different situations. How do you ensure that you're communicating effectively with each of those different scenarios?
The important thing with communications is people, and this can often be misunderstood. It's not the technology, it's not the process that one uses to communicate, it's all about people. So I'm very dedicated to employing the absolute best people that I can have within my organisations, because at the end of the day, it's the relationship that the people establish with each other which determines how effective the communication is. And this is what a lot of organisations forget, that it's not just about, as I said, some process or some system. You have to ensure that the people engage and understand how to engage with each other. That's absolutely critical. So I'm very dedicated to excellence in people and the excellence in their skill set in communication. So I hope that's part of the course that you're working on, to develop your own individual skills to communicate with people.
Okay, thank you. Effective communication should include both formal and informal contact between the client, professionally and the client. Can you provide examples of the ways in which Chaos Group effectively communicates both formally and informally?
This question builds nicely upon what I've just said. You have to establish a formal process to work with people. So in other words, there are rules of engagement that you need to adopt when you're talking to your client base, or indeed, in fact, your suppliers on the other side. You've got to remember, of course, I don't know, your question is phrased just for the clients, but it's not just the clients. People supply businesses with things, services, products. You have to ensure that you've got effective communication with your suppliers as well as your clients. It's equally important. If you're not doing that, it's the yin and the yang, then you're not getting effective delivery of product, whether that's the type of business that you run or services, and at the same time you're unable to deliver that to your clients. So informal and traditional forms of communication, we like to ensure that the communications that we send out via email, electronic media and so on, that we're professional in the content of that information. So staff are skilled with we make sure the staff have the requisite skills to enable to deliver that effectively and ensure that they're acting professionally with the clients and with integrity. But at the same time, they have to establish that relationship with the clients and the relationship with the suppliers to ensure that they get on. So there's some social arrangements that we have with clients as well as with suppliers to ensure that, again, the people are talking the same language.
Okay, thanks. How does communication help you develop the foundation of a solid client base?
It's essential. It's absolutely essential. Again, I take the word communication in a very general sense, not just what you might or perhaps others in your course are taking as just simply contact with someone. Communication is so much more than that. It's how do you feel sitting here asking me these questions? Have I made you feel comfortable to sit here and talk to me?
Yes.
Great. Well, then I've established a relationship with you that works in business, that you don't feel threatened, you feel comfortable, and you feel you're able to talk to me. If I've done that in my form of communication to you, then straight away I've got an opportunity to work better with you. If you feel threatened in any way by a discussion with me, with my communication, you're not going to open up and you're not going to be able to liaise with me effectively. And again, this goes with clients, this goes with as well with suppliers. So it's absolutely critical that these things are understood by our people, and that's why I come back to, we're dedicated to employing absolutely excellent people with outstanding communication skills, because if they haven't got them, they're not going to be able to work effectively for us.
Okay. How has social media impacted the way in which your company communicates with its
You
clients?
see, I love this question because again, I'm an IT person. I trained as a software developer as well a long time ago, so I'm very wedded to technology. But social media comes with a great risk, and the risk is the removal of interpersonal relationships. The risk that you will rely on communicating with your friends in an electronic manner, and colleagues and potential clients, rather than establishing a real personal relationship with them. And the generation that grows up as your generation is growing up, and my kids too, with purely electronic communication is a great risk. And I really worry that the skills that are required to communicate effectively amongst human beings are being watered down or lost. And I preface that by saying I'm so dedicated to technology because that's one of my businesses. So technology is a really big part of it. Social media is critical. It's a great means of communication. It's a wonderful way to get to a lot of people fast. But how do you translate that into not only effective communication, but also, if you're in a sales environment, delivering a result? You've got to deliver that result. But at the end of the day, it still comes back to people. Everything about society is about people and relationships, and again, feeling comfortable and being able to talk to people. You can't do that to the same degree if you are simply sending a message to someone. Every time there's been a change in my businesses internationally, if required, I get on a plane and I go and see the people. I don't do it via Skype. I don't do it via Facebook. I go and sit in front of them and I have a cup of coffee and I talk to them. Because I absolutely know, if I can sit in front of that person, I'm going to establish a much better relationship with them that way than by sending them electrons. It's just a guarantee. So the technology has radically changed. We all work in business, and there's a lot of wonderful opportunities for them. But it's absolutely critical that people do not forget that the best form of communication is one-to-one. And that it doesn't matter whether it's in business or if it's a personal relationship. If you're sending an email to your boyfriend all the time, that's the form of communication. It's not as good as sitting down and talking to them, being in front of them. Nowhere nearly as good.
What steps do you take to ensure that you are behaving ethically with your client?
And again, I really like this question too. As I said before, I'm a lawyer. I'm an officer of the court. I take that very seriously. It means that I simply can't behave in any other way than to do things the right way. That's my DNA. It's also part of my training. And I instill that into my colleagues, my staff, all the time. I make sure they're aware. One of the things that we do, and this is again, is a form of soft communication. You've walked into this office. I know you've had to walk around a little bit further, but we've renovated this place and it's beautiful. And people feel comfortable. Again, I keep coming back to the term. People feel comfortable to be here. It's a nice work environment. If you deliver these types of things, again, to your staff, it's a matter of building respect. They see how you want to treat them. It's a very serious form of communication. And I've made a big statement by renovating this place beautifully for them to work in so that they are extremely comfortable and happy. I walk around here at 7 o'clock at night kicking people out saying, go home, please go home. You've done enough, thank you very much, go home. Oh, I've got too much to do, please go home. So I take the issue of ethical behaviour and an ethical business very seriously, and everything that I do in presenting myself, which is what my businesses are, to my staff is built around that, so that they realise how seriously I take it. I talk about it all the time. Okay, best of luck, guys.
Thanks so much.
Pleasure.
Thank you.